So currently, after the pandemic, right, a lot of people start losing job, right? So before this also, we know that it's very difficult to find job in Malaysia itself. Like you have so many graduates, and so many people who already graduate for a long time, and then the job is like companies always look for younger people to work, but then when people already past certain age, right, they still need to work, and companies does not want to hire. Maybe try to resolve the issues of like people who's slightly older, but lose their job or like moving on to another job, give it more opportunities in that area lah. Because I understand the situation. Imagine if you're like 40, you work in this company until you're 40, then suddenly you decide to resign or you want to move to another company and you apply to another job, can't find another job because people don't want to hire you because you're 40 years old. So maybe try to resolve this kind of situation, like break that issues of like, oh, only younger generation can work hard. But then again, sometimes you need an older mindset to understand, to analyze situation lah. Not necessarily they should be in a higher position, not necessarily in a lower position, but in a suitable manner lah, the kind of thing lah. Because you get new people, new graduates working, and you also struggle with the issues of they cannot do.
Need to train them all over again.
Then when you get as they get certain age, then you feel like time to graduate and get a new batch. Then what happened to the rest of these people lah? You know, like for people who work in the government, yes, you have pension, but those working in the private sector, adalah you pension sendiri, but then again if you decide not to pension until you're 60, then how? Takkan not everybody have the opportunity to do business anyway. Not everybody have money to do business. And if everybody does business, who's buying? You know, like, so there has to be a certain balance lah. I think job opportunities in general for graduates and also people who lost their job, or people who no longer in an age where they can perform as better as the graduates, something like that.
So this is a problem for the Ministry of Finance?
I guess it's an overall problem, not just finance.
Or is what is it called? MITEC? What is it called? International trading? I don't know.
No. So
Human resources.
Human resources. HR, yeah.
Yeah, so human resource and also finance, because right, if the government were to open more job opportunities, means the finance minister or finance department need to actually fork out
need
more
to
money.
Inject more money.
Yeah, because
into
to
the
hire
public.
one person is like cost about like what, 8,000 per month, right? Just the cost to hire for one person, 8,000 per month. They say the basic salary is like what, 5,000, FBF, insurance, everything, 8,000 per month. So if the government were to hire 100 people, how much will it cost? So that doesn't mean that the government need to open for working in the government lah. Maybe private sector, collaborate. I don't know.
What they can do is like, of course, there's more job opportunities in the private sector lah. If you look at the ratio, right? So the government can help to maybe give incentives to some employers. Okay, certain percentage of your workforce should be this age, certain percentage this age, you know?
Yeah.
Then if they meet that, then maybe give certain incentives
Correct.
to train their young ones as well as their older ones to adapt to the new age, you know?
Changing of time.
Yeah, all this
changing of time,
developing.
changing of system.
Because
So
a
it
lot
is
of-
a quota thing lah.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. What do you think? Will that be?
I mean,
will that be
Age-
abused?
Age quota thing.
No, because the problem is a lot of companies are actually they're changing their systems. I'm talking about maybe bigger corporates, right? Changing their systems to be more digitalized, right?
Yep.
But you must always admit that there is a handful of older workforce that just cannot adapt.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to, but they just cannot.
Yeah.
Then they will like work them or
Burn
just
out.
burn out, or either give them super useless jobs until they suddenly feel useless and like, you know what,
Yeah.
I just resign
Yep.
lah. And then suddenly they're jobless, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, like it's more like we adapt, we learn, and we skill lah. Like
Maybe this is something.
like when you in that situation, imagine yourself like 45 years old, right? And then the company decide to go all digital or change. When in our time when we're 45 years, I'm pretty sure everything is much more advanced. And if we don't start catching up from now, gone lah. We'll be like the generation right now at 45, like all these changes, tak boleh adapt. Then decide, cannot, I cannot. I have to do other things already. So maybe training, or maybe like you said, the quota thing is actually a good idea. but it has to be extensive data and research first before the idea is put into process lah. The thought process of it, a lot of things need to be done now. And another thing is gig worker. Like gig worker nowadays, you see a lot of generation, like newer generation, they don't decide to work for a company. They rather do gig
Freelance
because
basis.
freelance basically, because freelance pays more than working in the company. Let's say you do one job pays you 5,000, but when for one job which takes you like 2 weeks, maybe 1 week to do it. When you work in the company pays you 5,000, you have to do 5 things or 10 things, the same thing. So
You get paid in a month.
yeah, you get paid in a month. So this generation right now thinks like it's more worth it this way. So how can the government or also the private sector make this much more competitive in a way like, actually also not bad in a way lah, basically lah. It sounds impossible, but I think with certain research and configuration and
Data,
whatnot, they can find the middle ground lah. Not everybody agrees with it, but then the middle ground lah.